Now we will talk about the Dalit movement, how Dalit movement is weakening the caste system or it is strengthening the caste system. We have seen various Dalit movement from the ancient times, from the traditional times, whether it is due because of like political issue or for the jobs, for economic or for employment. So whether Dalit movement is improving, it is weakening the caste system or it is strengthening the caste system. We have to analyze that point. For that, we have to see whether the caste is getting annihilated. Annihilated means that it is getting eroded, it is getting reduced, or it is strengthening in modern era. So the first point, we will analyze how the Dalit movements are weakening the caste system. Dalit movements is challenging the caste hierarchy. Caste hierarchy means the notion of purity and pollution. Okay, that the Dalits cannot touch the pure workers. Dalit cannot enter the temples. Dalit cannot take water from the pond. All these are the examples of the notion of purity and pollutions, that Dalits are said to be impure. Lower caste people are said to be impure. However, in today's time, it is getting challenged. And we have seen in the Una uprising case in Gujarat, where the Dalit refused to work for a menial jobs. So first point is this. Second is access to education and job. So we know that there is a reservation in the government education system, in the public institutes, in the government colleges, schools. So definitely because of that the education is getting improved. और जब एजुकेशन इम्प्रूव हो रही है उसके कारण भी आपका जो दलित सिस्टम है, जो कास्ट सिस्टम है, वो वीकन हो रहा है, बिकॉज इट इज रिमूविंग द कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. Then third is enhancing the social dignity. All these Dalit movements are enhancing the dignity, respect for Dalits, like through promotion of Dalit literature, Dalit festivals, song, symbols, like I told earlier also about Ambedkar statue, promotes equality consciousness. So there is an equality consciousness among the minds of everyone, that everyone is equal in the society. And by celebrating these festivals, we are reinforcing all these things. Then fourth is enhancing and accountability, leading to better governance. So basically, when we make something accountable to the system, then definitely people focus more on the right path. We have done that thing. The atrocities that are happening, that were happening with Dalits, has been reduced because of various legislative measures taken by the government. One of the measure is SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. So because of that also, better governance is happening and the caste based discrimination is getting reduced. Then the fifth is intersectional assertion. Now the Dalit assertion is not just based on the caste system. Today it is shaping multiple domains. It is intersecting multiple sections. You can include women, gender, tribals, ethnicity in them. So like the example of rise of Dalit feminism, Dalit Mahila Swabhiman Yatra. It is for the self-identity of Dalits, women, for reducing sexual exploitation, sexual harassment against Dalit women. This movement is going on. Dalit Mahila Swabhiman Yatra. So we have talked about how Dalit movements are breaking the caste identity. However, there is also other part of this movements where the caste is strengthening because of these movements. First is transformation of caste. Caste is shifting from social sphere to political sphere. Like earlier, what happened that the movements were more of, earlier the movements were because of the social exclusion, because of lack of education, lack of income, all these things were happening. But today, Dalit movements are focused towards the political sphere. They want to become the political leader. of the country. See, formation of Dalit political parties like BSP in UP by Kashiram and Mayawati, and then in contemporary time also rise of Bhim Army or Azad Samaj Party. It is formed by Chandrasekhar Azad. Then we have second point, that is identity mobilization. Dalit assertion. Because of Dalit assertion, what is happening? It is mobilizing people. The movement needs people. आप कोई भी मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं तो उसके लिए आपको लोगों की जरूरत है. और we know that on what basis the people will get mobilized is the caste system. They are not mobilizing on a caste neutral basis. They are mobilizing people on caste lines. So identity mobilization is happening, and that is creating the consciousness among the people. Even in the non-Dalit people, non-scheduled caste people, the consciousness is getting created because of mobilizing on the caste lines, on basis of caste lines. Symbolic assertion, not only through gaining the economic or political spheres, the movements are happening in which we are subtly, the Dalits are subtly asserting themselves in different spheres, whether it is like celebrating tribal gods, Eklavya, whether it is hosting blue flag, creating Dalit literature, celebrating Ambedkar statue. All these things are happening for just creating a symbols of Dalits. They are worshipping those symbols. They are getting revered from those symbols, and the reason is to assert their self identity. इन symbols के through वो अपनी self identity को assert कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना? Self identification, caste based self identification is going on. Then is social polarization. What is happening when there is certain movements, Dalit movements? So there are different sections of the society where the people are not happy with these movements. Generally the upper caste people, they are not happy that the Dalit are doing movements. So there is also upper caste backlash from them, leading to reinforcement of caste boundaries. We have seen various caste conflicts between upper caste, lower caste because of these movements, and all these conflicts leads to the reinforcement of caste boundaries. Then fifth point is intra-Dalit identity consolidation. We think that Dalits are a homogeneous group of people. No, Dalits are not homogeneous group of people. In Dalits also there are certain categories of people, like there are Jatavs who are at the upper end of the Dalits. Then we have non-Jatavs that are at the lower end of Dalits. And there is also hierarchy among Dalits. So because of competition for reservations, there is a reinforcement of caste categorization. Caste is getting reinforced because of these intra-Dalit identity consolidations. So we need to focus not only on giving reservations to Dalits, we have to focus on how that there is a equality in different spheres, not only by giving reservation or by giving economic jobs or opportunities. We have to focus that they are being treated as equals. There is a saying that there is a spirit of law and there is a letter in law. We don't have to just focus on the letter part of the laws, that the laws are just getting implemented. The spirit of the law should also be reinforced. There should be a spirit among the people that everyone is equal. That have to be inculcated in the minds of the people. Only then these caste-based movements can be stopped and everyone can be equal. Also, I will give some data. So annihilation of caste requires economic equality, social integration, and cultural transformation beyond identity politics. Now we should know some data about scheduled caste peoples. Population. According to census 2011, population of scheduled caste is 16.6%. Literacy rate is 66%, whereas the national average Indian literacy rate is 74%. And according to NCRB data, 50,000 plus cases of crimes are registered against scheduled caste annually. So, in conclusion, there is a scholar, that is M.N. Srinivas. What M.N. Srinivas says about caste system is that caste is modernizing and politicizing but not disappearing. तो कास्ट क्या हो रहा है आपका, मॉडर्नाइज हो रहा है आज के टाइम पे और पॉलिटिसाइज हो रहा है. देयर इज अ पॉलिटिसाइजेशन ऑफ कास्ट एंड कास्टाइजेशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स. ठीक है, बट कास्ट डिसअपियर नहीं हो रहा है. जो हम सोचते हैं कि कास्ट सिस्टम खत्म हो रहा है, नो, कास्ट सिस्टम इज नॉट डिसअपियरिंग टुडे. नाउ we move to another topic that is also very important topic, that is feminization of agriculture. What do you mean by feminization of agriculture? Means that the women are more employed as compared to men in agriculture sector. And according to various data like FAO, it is said that women constitute of around 70% of agriculture workforce. That 70% of agriculture workforce is women. 13% of women own land. Despite 70% of agriculture workforce, women has only 13% of land. So socio-economic factors behind that, so much women are included and engaged in agriculture. So why so much more than 70% of women are engaged in agriculture? We have to find out the forces, socio-economic reasons for that. The first reason is male out migration. What happens that the males members of the family, they move towards urban areas for better jobs and opportunities. And once they move from rural areas to urban areas, the only person who has to take care of the agricultural land is women. So the first factor is this, migration. Second is agrarian distress and declining farm income. Man is also exiting from farming. The reason is that because of declining income of the agriculture sectors, men are not very much serious about agriculture, doing farming. They search for better alternative employment. So again, women will do the farming. Low paid agriculture workers. Now the agriculture workers comes in the informal economy. There is no social security for them. There is no provident fund. There is no bonus, or there is no medical leave, employment leave. There is nothing for agriculture workers. So most of the people who can engage in such activities are only one group of people, that is women. They can work at lower salary, and that's why they are working in agriculture sector. Fourth point is mechanization. Earlier what is used to be done, there is a lot of work that has to be done manually. For that there is need of muscular strength, but because of the mechanization of agriculture, like demand in plowing and harvesting is reducing. The demand of man in plowing and harvesting is reducing. Now because of tractors, because of machine tillers, everything, machineries, various agriculture machineries, women can participate in them. Because of that, women are more involved in agriculture activities. Then there is a fifth point, gender division of labor. Because of certain patriarchal norms of the family, women are restricted to move outside the family, to migrate towards urban areas, to go for better education, having access to better education. So default sector for women because of that is just agriculture, because they are living in rural areas. They can't go to urban areas for study, for doing job. So ultimately the default sector for women is agriculture. Then the sixth point is governance policies. So government is also promoting women in agriculture sector. There is a scheme that is Mahila Kisan Sashakti-karan Yojana. According to that scheme, the women are recognized as farmers and not laborers. The government is saying that women are farmers. They are not just peasants or laborers in the farming field. Promotion of women's self-help group. In this scheme, Mahila Kisan Sashaktikaran Yojana, there is also the promotion of self-help group, women's, and also the trainings is given to women in agroecology. Apart from that, we have one more scheme, that is DAY NRLM. DAY means Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, and NRLM means National Rural Livelihood Mission. So one thing that is very, very important is financial credit. Like if you have to work anything, you need money. And ultimately, most of the women don't have bank accounts, rural women. So because of that, they have to take loan from the informal sector at a very high price, at a very high interest rate. To curb the burden, government is promoting this scheme. There is a credit linkage through banks. So they will get the credit through banks at a lower interest rate. So all these things we have to remember. If any questions regarding the feminization of agriculture comes in the paper. After that, we move towards the next topic, that is patriarchal impact on middle class working women. So how the patriarchy is impacting the middle class working women? We all know what is patriarchy. Patriarchy means it is a system where man dominates over power, property and decision making in family and society. कि आपका चाहे प्रॉपर्टी पे या फिर आपका डिसीजन मेकिंग पे या पावर पे किसका डोमिनेशन होता है? एक मैन का होता है फैमिली के अंदर और या सोसाइटी में. उसे हम क्या कहते हैं? पैट्रियार्की कहते हैं. एंड देयर आर वेरियस फैक्टर्स कि जो इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, वेरियस reasons of impaction on middle class women. One is double burden. How the patriarchy is impacting the women, we can see in the double burden. What do you mean by double burden? That the women have to manage not only the job. If the woman is working, then she has to manage also the household. She has to take care of the child. There is famous scholar, Arlie Hochschild. All these things are considered as a second shift concept by her. She says that this is called as a second shift, Arlie Hochschild. And all these leads to the stress, reduce career growth and time poverty. So she doesn't have time for herself. There is a reduction in the career growth as she has to take care of the household. She has to take care of the child. Because of that, there is also a stress among women. Second point is glass ceiling. There is a barriers in promotions, in leadership and equal pay for women who are working in the private sector. Occupational segregation, like the women are mostly segregated in certain occupations only, like in teaching. Like as a female teacher, you will see a lot of women. In HR, in nursing, in receptionist, all these, most of the in organizations are women. After that, there is a control over choices, whether it is traveling or whether it is marriage. There is always control on the choices of women by the family. Then fourth point is motherhood penalty. Working women are judged. They are judged because they are working. Society thinks that a woman who is working cannot take care of the family, of the child. They are being judged despite having so much success in their life, despite having a good salary, good income. They are being judged by the society. They have to give priority to the family over career. Then we have economic dependence despite employment. What do you mean by this? That the woman is employed, women is earning a good amount of salary. Despite that, that woman is economically dependent on the male member of the society. Why? Because control over income, lack of control of income. Despite she is earning 1 lakh rupees per month, but all the income goes in the bank account of the male member of the society. Property ownership. The property is in the name of the male household. Financial decision making. The decisions regarding the purchase of any asset, house, is taken by solely on the male member of the society. Then we have workplace harassment. Despite various acts we have, like POSH. POSH means Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act, Workplace Act 2013. There is an internal committee that has to be formed in every organization to so that all the cases related to the posh is seen by that committee. But despite that, there are various underreporting happenings because of the career pressure, because of the job pressure. The women are not able to report. Social expectations. Women are expected to be an emotional labor. What do you mean by emotional labor? Means a caregiver in the family to maintain harmony in the family. That is expected by the society. Then we have lack of political empowerment. We know that there is a 33% reservation in Panchayati Raj system for women. Despite 33% of reservation, despite the women are elected as the chairman of Panchayati Raj, all the work of the Panchayati Raj is done by their husbands, by the male part of the family. This is called as Panchayat Pati. Panchayat Pati means that despite women is the real Panchayat member, but all the work is done by the husband of that women. Now we will move towards the next topic, that is social problem arise due to urbanization. In the urban areas, there are various social problems that are getting because of urban areas that are getting arised. One is growth of slums. We know that there is a scarcity of land in urban areas. Also, the rent prices are very high in urban areas. It leads to the housing shortage. There is a shortage of housing, so there is a growth of slums. According to census 2011, around 65 million people are living in slum areas. So 65 million people are living in slum areas. Then the second point is unemployment and informalization. Informalization means that there is a lack of social security. There is no provident fund, no maternity leave, no medical leave for the employee. So rural migrants, they don't have skills. They migrate towards the urban areas. People migrate from villages to the urban areas, but they don't have skills. So now the only sector where they can be absorbed is informal sector, like a street vendors, like construction workers, gig workers. Gig workers means like Uber, Ola drivers, Zomato delivery guys. They are working in the gig economy. So all these workers, they don't have any skills. Because of that, there is a rise of informal sector. Then we have increased class inequality. Like there are multiple societies that are formed, gated societies, in which they have their own guards, own rules and regulations. So versus slums. So in one part of India, in one part of the urban area, we have gated communities where the high income group people are living, and on the other area we have slums where the poor people are living. That represents the class inequality in the urban areas. Next point is social deviance. Now we know that there is anonymity. Anonymity means that no one knows you in the urban areas. आपको कोई नहीं जानता आसपास, आपका पड़ोसी भी आपको नहीं जानता है. Inequality is there. So all these things leads to rising crimes, because people who don't have income, they want to earn income, they want to earn money. So they are involved in the criminal activities. They are involved in the drug activities because no one is watching them. They are living an anonymous life. Juvenile delinquency is happening. So disintegration of family. Next point is disintegration of family. Earlier we used to live in a joint family, but now today, because of the urban areas and lack of housing facilities and rent prices, we are pressurized to live in the nuclear families. So what happens in the nuclear families, that the elder people, those who are elders, they are feeling isolated. They feels neglected. They have a feeling of loneliness कि भाई आपसे कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा आपकी फैमिली में. वो एक बहुत बड़ा इशू एक आ रहा है अर्बन एरियाज में. इट इज़ लीडिंग टू psychological stress, mental stress, anxiety, depression. So old age people, they are moving towards their rural areas, their hometowns, they are not living in urban areas, or they are having the formation of old age homes also is getting formed there. Then there is a gender issues like the urban working women. Those, especially women who are poor, they have to work late at night, and there are many cases of crime that are reported against women. Insecure informal jobs, that they are not getting medical leaves, again provident fund, anything, they can be terminated at any point of time. All these are the issues. Then we have health problems. We know that there is a increasing demand of burger, pizza in urban areas. These leads to lifestyle diseases. Not only this, we also have problem due to air pollution, like Delhi. In the Delhi, the air quality index is very severe in winters. Water contamination because of various industrial effluents. The effluent is getting mixed with the river and leading to the contamination of water. There are two cases then that we should know. One is Dharavi, Asia's largest slums. There is a overcrowding and poor sanitation there. Then Delhi pollution, AQI levels often in severe category. Now there is also one topic, that is smart city. We all know about smart cities, that we have a smart infrastructure, smart transport, better surveillance system, green areas, centralized grievance redressal making. Everything is there in smart city, but whether it is improving the quality of life for urban poor or not. So it is said that it is not improving the quality of life. Why it is not improving? Because small selected zones. The smart cities are not developing the whole city. It is not taking the whole city. It is just taking some part of the city. It is getting developed in certain areas of the city. And in most of the cases, the slums and the informal settlements are getting excluded. Second point is weak focus on informal sectors. So the smart city mission is focusing more on the infrastructure of the city. It is not focusing on the job creation of the city. Whether it is developing the roads, the buildings, highways, but not the jobs. And people will get the money from the job. When there is a quality of jobs in the market, the people will get the money. If they will get the money, their standard of living will improve. But unfortunately, that is not happening. Third point is governance issues. Also, the local participation is very less in the smart city. Whether what are the challenges, what are the planning that has to be done to implement a smart city, in that the local slum dwellers are not involved. Local participation is very limited. Then the tech centric versus basic needs. Like we are focusing on the modern infrastructure, surveillance system, everything, but the basic needs about housing, sanitations, price regulation of the housing, that is not getting addressed in these smart city missions. Then we have, but still there are some benefits for the urban poor. One is improving basic infrastructure. We are focusing on better water supply. We are focusing on waste management, better transport, like integrated transport system in which there is also metro, there is also a cars, public buses are also there. So there is an integrated transport system we are trying to develop in different part of the area, which will indirectly benefit for all the citizens. There is also, in some areas, there is also upgradation of slums. Like we are converging with the existing government schemes like PMAY, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and also Amrit, Atal Mission Rejuvenation for Urban Transformation. That are the government schemes that are already in doing work regarding the urban infrastructure for the urban housing. So it is smart city mission is converging with Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and Amrit. Also public transport. So the public transport will not only reduce the pollution level of the urban cities, it will also reduce the cost of the transport cost for all the workers and the travel time. It will also benefit the every worker. So for today, these topics are discussed. Thank you and have a nice day.